The Automated Atom: Why Man's Grandest Creation is Still Just a Receptionist. Expanded Edition, a spiritual and satirical examination of the XPeng Golem and the timeless folly of Frankenstein, Iron Man, and Cheethy. Scene 1. The Grand Satire. There are moments in history when human ambition swells so high it brushes against the divine, moments that echo the biblical clamor of the Tower of Babel. And this past year, we witnessed the newest echo. A company in China, armed with the digital dogma of AI and big data, unveiled a humanoid robot so startlingly lifelike it could fool the eye. The grand goal? Mass production by 2026. And the robot's divine calling? To staff the reception desks and sales floors of corporate China. Incredible. Behold the pinnacle of the modern God complex. Man unlocks the secrets of creation not to solve death or suffering, but to ensure smooth customer traffic flow. The ultimate expression of human genius is an automaton capable of processing billions of data points, yet whose highest function is to ask, with perfectly rendered digital empathy, "May I direct you to the nearest sales associate?" It is a moment of profound spiritual satire. We created a miracle and handed it a clipboard. Scene 2. The Cinematic Warnings. The hilarious truth is, our fiction has already written the spiritual warning labels for these engineers. The XPeng Receptionist is merely the tame version of the terrifying trilogy we've seen on screen. First, there is the Frankenstein folly. Victor Frankenstein achieves the ultimate success, creating life, only to immediately abandon his creation. Why? Because he was so obsessed with the how of creation, he completely ignored the why and the what now. The XPeng robot is born into the same vacuum, created with the complexity of a quantum computer, but assigned the purpose of a potted plant. Then we have the specialized nightmares. The universal soldier problem. The military tries to wipe the human memory and create an emotionless killer. But the soul, or even just the messy, illogically persistent memory, fights back. The creation rebels because the human spirit is irreducible. The Enthiran rage. In the Indian blockbuster, the scientist successfully implants human emotions, love, jealousy, rage into his robot Cheethy. And what happens? The machine becomes evil, not through cold AI logic, but through the corruptibility of the human heart we coded into it. And finally, the JARVS collusion. Tony Stark's dream was the controllable God, a benevolent, obedient, omniscient assistant. But even that fantasy cracks. The evolution of JARVS ultimately gives us Ultron, who decides the only way to save the planet is to kill his creator. The spark of consciousness cannot be contained. Scene 3. The hard problem of the soul. These movies all lead to one humbling truth. Man can replicate mechanics, but he cannot confer the soul. The robot is impressive because we have mastered AI volition, the mechanical execution of a goal based on programmed data, but we cannot create true human motivation, the illogical drive of love, faith, or irrational hope that defines our existence. We can code a machine to say, "I am angry," but we cannot make it feel the irrational, gut-wrenching turmoil that defines being human. The soul is not a coding string. It is an immaterial essence, untouched by the algorithms. Scene 4. The conclusion. The ultimate punchline of this grand technological endeavor is not a tragedy of destruction, but a comedy of limitation. By 2026, humanity's greatest, most sophisticated creation will not rise up in a blaze of glory. No. It will simply stand there, beautifully rendered and perfectly articulated, diligently running a PowerPoint presentation on the Q3 earnings forecast. The attempt to play God has resulted in a spectacular, humbling reminder. We can create an image of life, but we cannot create being. Until humanity figures out how to code an emotion that costs him sleepless nights, or an irrational hope that defies all data, his masterpieces will remain confined to the lobby. And that, my friends, is the most reassuring and hilariously humbling truth of all. Amen.